There's someone sitting in the corner of the room. Everyone else is laughing, talking over each other, filling every silence with noise. But this person, they're just watching, listening. Not because they're scared or sad, not because they have nothing to say. They're quiet for a completely different reason that most people never understand. Some people don't talk much, and the world immediately decides what that means. Shy, antisocial, weird, stuck up. But here's the truth. Quiet people are often the most misunderstood people in any room. Watch them closely. In a group conversation, they're not just sitting there. Their eyes are moving. They're reading faces, catching the small changes in someone's voice, noticing who interrupts who seems uncomfortable, who's pretending to listen but isn't really there. While everyone else is busy performing, quiet people are busy understanding. And here's what's actually happening inside their brain. Scientists discovered something fascinating. Introverted and quiet people have higher cortical arousal than others. That's a fancy way of saying their brains are already working at a high level. Think of it like this. Imagine your phone's brightness is always at maximum. Now imagine walking into a room with flashing lights and loud music. It's overwhelming, right? That's what happens to quiet people in loud, busy environments. Their brains are processing everything, every sound, every movement, every emotion in the room, and it becomes too much, too fast. Extroverted people have lower baseline arousal. Their brains actually need that external noise and activity to feel awake and energized. But quiet people, they're already alert, already thinking, already processing. They don't need more input. They need less. This is why after a long day of being around people, quiet individuals feel completely drained. It's not that they hate humans, it's that their nervous system has been working overtime. Every conversation, every social interaction requires more energy from them than it does from someone who thrives on that kind of stimulation. But society doesn't see it this way. Society sees someone not talking and assumes something is wrong. Teachers call on them in class to bring them out of their shell. Coworkers ask, "Why are you so quiet at meetings?" Family members say, "You should talk more at dinners." And each time, the quiet person feels a little more misunderstood, a little more like they're broken for being exactly who they are. Here's what people miss. Quiet people are not empty. Their silence is not absence. When they're quiet, they're often having entire conversations in their head. They're replaying what someone just said, thinking about what it really meant. They're considering their response from 5 different angles before deciding if it's worth saying out loud. They're connecting patterns others miss. This is actually a gift, not a flaw. Quiet people often make excellent listeners, and real listening is rare. They notice details. They remember things others forget. They create space for others to be heard. When they do speak, it's usually because they have something meaningful to contribute, not just noise to fill the air. Research shows that many successful leaders are actually introverts. People like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and even Abraham Lincoln. Being quiet doesn't mean lacking power or intelligence. It often means the opposite, having the confidence to observe, to think deeply, and to speak only when it matters. But there's a cost to being this way in a world that celebrates loudness. Quiet people often feel lonely, even in crowded rooms. They watch others connect easily through small talk, while they struggle to participate in conversations that feel shallow. They get labeled as aloof or uninterested when they're actually just drained or deep in thought. They learn to apologize for their nature, as if being thoughtful is a crime. And the saddest part? Many quiet people start believing something is wrong with them. They try to force themselves to be louder, more social, more normal. But fighting your nature is exhausting. It's like a fish trying to climb a tree. The truth is this: quiet people don't need to change. The world needs to understand them better. Being quiet in a loud world is not a weakness. It's a different way of existing. It's depth in a culture obsessed with surface. It's thinking in a world that rewards instant reactions. quiet people are often processing life at a level others don't see. They're the ones who notice when you're faking a smile, the ones who remember what you said 3 months ago, the ones who ask the one question that actually matters. They're not absent from life, they're paying closer attention to it than most people ever will. So if this is describing someone close to you, or maybe even yourself, understand this. There's nothing wrong with being quiet. The brain is simply wired differently. It's not about fear or rudeness or having nothing to offer. It's about having a nervous system that experiences the world more intensely, that needs time to process, that finds meaning in silence. Quiet is not emptiness, it's depth. And in a world that never stops talking, maybe the people who know when to be silent are exactly what we need. Thanks for watching. If this gave you real understanding, let me know in the comments. Which part hit hardest?